are coming from AP Fire Protection. We figured that it was appropriate to hop on and answer some frequently asked questions in regards to fire protection. So first of all, where are we located? We are in sunny Glendale, Arizona. The weather is perfect right now. It's mid 80s, low 90s, mid-October, so we're enjoying it quite a bit. My name is Michelle McKay. I am joined today by owner and founder Todd Pine and general manager and superintendent Curtis Reynolds. So welcome. So we're going to go ahead and just get started, and I figured we'll just ask Todd, what is fire protection?
Fire protection is different systems that you'll have in your building to either combat or notify the tenants of a fire, whether it be a wet sprinkler system, a fire alarm system, kitchen hood suppression system in restaurants. You could even go as far as emergency exit lighting and handheld fire extinguishers.
Okay. And Curtis, do we service businesses or residential homes?
We do industrial and business. We don't do much with residential.
Okay. And let's see. Is it a requirement to have fire protection in a business?
Yes, it's a requirement. Depending on the municipality, depending on the size of the building, and depending on the occupancy of the building, that's what determines what type of system or systems will be in the building. If you're in a school, they require full smoke protection for a fire alarm, so that's smoke detectors throughout the building, orange strobes throughout the building, that sort of thing. Depending on the square footage of a building, it would determine whether it needs to have a sprinkler system or not.
Okay.
And depending on what municipality, it would depend on whether they would need to have a sprinkler system or not.
Okay. Well, a lot of these things sound like they're on a pretty grand scale because it's for businesses and commercial buildings, schools. What about fire extinguishers? Do we do anything with fire extinguishers?
We do. We'll do an annual service on a fire extinguisher. Just so happen that we have one right here.
Hey.
Hey, how about that? Amazing how that appeared. But yes, we'll do an annual test or an inspection on the extinguisher, and it's more than just walking by and putting a tag on it. There's a 13-point inspection process that we'll do on the fire extinguishers, from weighing the extinguisher to make sure that it has the proper amount of agent, checking the nozzle, making sure the pull pin works properly, the gauge is showing that it's fully charged, checking the dates to see if they are within range or if they need to have a 6-year or a 12-year hydrostatic test. And that's just a couple of the things that we check on when we do an annual service on a fire extinguisher.
Okay, so you do annual service. Is there anything that a business can do monthly, Curtis, that they could just
Yes,
check?
the facility owner is responsible for doing a monthly check on them. It's just a simple check of making sure that it's accessible and that the pressure gauge is still reading in the green right there in the center, so that they know that they're at least covered for that month.
Okay, so in the green it says, what does it say?
It's just showing that it's
Just shows
fully
green.
charged.
So if it's not in the green, it either needs to be recharged or it's overcharged, and that would be a professional needs to come in and take care of those.
Correct.
Okay, great. And then, so another frequently asked question that we get here, I'm gonna scooch this to your side, Curtis, is, why is my panel beeping? Look at this thing. So this is a panel. What is a panel? first of all, what does that do for me?
That's your fire alarm notification signal circuit.
Like Vanna White having to block Curtis. Da-da-da. Look at all this cool stuff in there. I'm gonna close this. There's Curtis, he reappears. Yay! Okay, so scooch that aside. So, what does that do again, Curtis?
That notifies the owner occupant if there's a fire in the building.
Okay, well, sometimes we get a phone call and say, it's beeping. What do I do? What do we do, Todd?
Well, normally if we have a customer call and they ask if that, hey, my panel's beeping, what do I do? One of our first questions is, what does the LED readout say? What's it reading?
So it'll give a message.
It'll give a message.
Okay.
And depending on what that message is, a lot of times we can walk them through silencing their panel over the phone to where they can silence it, and we can give them an explanation of why it's beeping. There's multiple reasons why, but usually we can walk them through it over the phone to where we don't have to dispatch somebody to go out there and silence their panel.
So there would be a difference between the panel beeping and an actual alarm going off, is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
The panel beeps normally in a trouble condition
Okay.
to let you know that whether batteries are beyond their expectation, their lifespan, or that there's a trouble with a signaling device such as a smoke detector or a water flow switch.
So they would call us and let us know, hey, it's beeping. We can help walk them through, figure out what that message is, and service further as needed, right?
Correct.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Now, okay, another thing. This is asked a lot. How do you test a sprinkler system? So a sprinkler system, when we're talking sprinklers, are we talking front yard sprinklers, backyard sprinklers? What kind of sprinklers are we talking about?
Now, we're talking about the fire suppression sprinklers that are in the ceiling up in the building. And, there's different elements of the testing that we do. One of the main parts of it is to make sure that the water supply to the sprinkler system is still on and it's still being fed. We'll check if there's different devices that are tied into the fire alarm, whether it be a flow switch or a tamper switch. We make sure that those are working correctly. And we'll flow water out of an inspector's test to verify the proper time frame for the flow switch to send a signal to the fire alarm.
So if we're testing with water, Curtis, are you gonna be flooding my office? Getting my papers all wet? How's that work?
Hopefully they're not going to go off.
Oh.
No, the water is flowed like Todd said from the inspector's test. That gives us an example of the sprinkler head going off, and that way we don't have to set off a head inside a building.
Okay, great. Now what about, here's a question, it might seem silly, but it happens a lot. Are you guys part of the fire department?
No. And we do get that. We get phone calls about that all the time. They ask, are you part of the fire department? We are not. We are a separate entity from the fire department. We are a privately owned business. Fire department is generally run through municipalities or through a fire district. So there is definitely a separation between the two.
Okay, all right. Is there a partnership or anything, or it's just completely separate?
It's completely separate, but we do work together.
Okay.
In regards to if we're doing an installation or a TI on a building, we'll do the work. We'll pull permits through the fire department or through the municipality. Then when we're done, the fire department will come in and inspect the work to make sure that it's been done correctly in 2 code. They'll sign off on it, give us a green tag, and then we're good to go. you know, with as long as we've been in business together, we've got plenty of contacts with the different fire departments, and we like to think that we have a good working relationship with all of them.
Okay, well that leads to a good question. How long have you guys been in business? How long has AP Fire Protection been in business?
AP Fire Protection has been in business since 2008. I've been in the business since 1987.
Great,
Oh, I've been in the business since 1994.
there you go. All right,
Few
so
years.
just so much experience, and that's great. Great knowledge, great partnerships. If you ever have any questions for us, you know, you can type up a question, send it in to us, but you can also contact us directly by calling 623-772-5344. I'm gonna pop around here and just see if we have any questions that we need to address at this time. Let me just take a quick peek. Todd, you wanna talk about that number once more?
Sure. So the number that Michelle gave, 623-772-5344, that's our office number. We are 24 hours a day. So if you've got a question or a concern, you can give us a call. If it's not during normal business hours, we have a technician that is on call. So that number will be forwarded to their phone. So there's always somebody to answer the phone.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I'm not seeing anything pop on through, so I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Remember, if you have any questions about fire protection, or if you're needing service, give us a call, 623-772-5344, and we'll catch you next time with some additional frequently asked questions. Have a great day.
Have a great day, everybody.